Before you even start your speedrun, understand this. The list was literally created to catch you faster. It's basically the FBI saying, we're putting your face everywhere and letting a Karen do our job. But let's speedrun it anyway. Step 1. Commit a federal crime. The FBI does not care about your little shoplifting charge, and no, smoking a bit of pot or doing lines at a shady bathroom isn't getting you on the list either. To even get their attention, you need to do something big. The FBI is federal. That means you need federal jurisdiction. Method 1. Bank robbery. Back in the 1950s, the list was packed with bank robbers. Why? Because banks were federally insured, so robbing one automatically made it a federal crime. Let me tell you about Willie Sutton. The man was an absolute legend in the bank robbery game. He was fugitive number 11 on the list and robbed so many banks they nicknamed him the Actor since he was always in disguise. The dude was the OG Money Heist character. Unfortunately for Willie, someone recognized him on the subway in 1952 after seeing his wanted flyer. Game over. The process is the same in today's age. Walk in with a gun, demand money, drive to the next state. Repeat. Eventually, the FBI will notice the pattern, and boom, you're on the list. But here's the bad news. Robbing banks just isn't viable anymore, and we would low-key advise against it. There are cameras everywhere. We already saw how that went for those idiots who thought they'd be able to get away with the Louvre heist. Like, you'd be recorded before you'd even step inside. Your Uber driver has a dash cam. The ATM has cameras. Some girl filming a thirst trap is gonna catch you in the background of her reel. You'll be on Reddit in under 20 minutes with your ex from high school in the comments like, yeah, that's definitely him. Always knew he was a red flag. Method 2. Kidnapping. In 1932, Charles Lindbergh Jr., a 20-month-old baby, was kidnapped from his New Jersey home. A ransom was demanded and paid. The baby was found dead 2 months later. The case became the crime of the century, and it was all anyone could talk about. There was a lot of pressure on Congress to do something, so Congress passed the Lindbergh Law. It made kidnapping a federal crime. So if you kidnap someone and take them across state lines, that's automatically federal. If you use the mail, phones, or any interstate communication to send ransom demands, that's also federal. This is purely informational, by the way. The world does not need another Madeleine McCann situation. Now let's talk about some new and modern methods. Method 3. Drug trafficking. Move cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, fentanyl, or anything similar across state lines, and the DEA and FBI will absolutely get involved. Method 4. Human trafficking. If you're trafficking people across state lines for labor or exploitation, that's federal. Be the new Ghislaine Maxwell and end up on the FBI list. Method 5. Terrorism. Any act of terrorism, bombings, mass shootings, or politically motivated violence will land you on the most wanted list if you even make it out alive. This is the fastest route to being number 1 on the FBI's list, and also the fastest route to not being alive anymore. Method 6. Major financial fraud. This is the modern white-collar speedrun. If you defraud investors using the internet, run a Ponzi scheme, manipulate securities, or launch a crypto scam across multiple states, you will make it to the list. Take like Ruya Ignatova, aka the Crypto Queen, for example. She ran a $4 billion cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme called OneCoin and scammed investors all over the world. She disappeared in 2017 and the FBI added her to the most wanted list in 2022. She's still at large, possibly living under a new identity with access to hundreds of millions of dollars. We love women in male-dominated fields. Step 2. Become a menace to society. Okay, now you've committed a federal crime. Congrats, I guess. But here's the catch. The FBI doesn't just throw anyone on the list. There are only 10 slots. To end up at number 1, you have to meet 2 criteria. Are you a serious danger to society? And will publicity help catch you? That second one is important. If you're already famous like Bin Laden, you're kind of wasting a slot. Everyone already knows who you are. This list is meant for dangerous people who aren't household names yet. So, how do you prove you're dangerous enough? Tactic A. Go on a multi-state spree. Andrew Cunanan did this perfectly in 1997. He killed 5 people in 3 months across 4 states. His final victim was fashion designer Gianni Versace on July 15, 1997. That became international news. The FBI already added Cunanan to the list in June 12, 1987, a month before Versace. But after Versace, the pressure was insane. His face was everywhere. Just 8 days later, police found him dead on a houseboat in Miami. He shot himself. He just couldn't handle it. Tactic B. Kill someone important. Let's look at James Earl Ray. He assassinated Martin Luther King Jr., and the FBI immediately launched the largest manhunt in its history at the time. Ray was placed on the most wanted list just days later. He fled to Canada, got a fake Canadian passport under a different name, flew to London, then to Portugal, then back to London. But here's where he fumbled. He had 2 passports under the same fake name, and one had a typo. When he tried boarding a flight to Brussels, a customs officer at Heathrow noticed the discrepancy, checked the watch and detain list, and boom, game over. So, lesson of the day, if you're gonna forge documents, please proofread. Grammarly is literally free. Tactic C. Kill law enforcement. Want to skip the entire queue? Kill an FBI agent. Billy Austin Bryant was serving 18 to 54 years for bank robbery. In August 1968, he escaped from prison by crashing a car through the fence while working in the auto shop GTA style. Months later, in January 1969, he robbed another bank. 3 FBI agents went to his wife's apartment to question her. Billy answered the door and immediately opened fire, killing 2 FBI agents. He escaped out the back and ran. The FBI added him to the most wanted list the same day within hours. Step 3. Escape from custody. The ultimate XP boost. Okay, now you've had your glow up and officially became a menace to society. But if you really want to fast track your way to number 1, here's the cheat code. Get caught for a crime and then escape from prison. Nothing pisses off law enforcement more. You go from criminal to an embarrassment to the entire justice system, and the FBI hates being embarrassed. Case study: Ted Bundy, serial killer who murdered at least 30 young women and girls in the 1970s. Ted escaped from custody not once, but twice. The first time was in June 1977 during his trial. Dude literally jumped out of a second-story courthouse window. Insane. Main character energy. He was caught 5 days later though. But Bundy wasn't done. 6 months later, in December 1977, he escaped again. He lost 35 pounds to squeeze through a hole in his jail cell ceiling, climbed into the crawl space, and literally walked out the front door. He fled to Florida, and because Ted Bundy was a literal monster, he went on another murder spree and also injured 2 others. The FBI added him to the top 10 list on February 10th, 1978. And just 5 days later, a cop pulled him over for driving erratically in a stolen Volkswagen Beetle. The officer had no idea who he had just arrested until they ran his fingerprints. Ted was on the list for less than a week, speedrun complete, but dude was later executed in 1989, so bad ending. Step 4. Go on the run. Okay, now you've escaped from prison, but here's where most speedrunners fail. You can't just commit a crime and then sit at home waiting to get caught. You need to run to hit the subscribe button. Anyway, the FBI will only put you on the list if they don't know where you are. If you're chilling in your mom's basement, they'll just send local cops. The most wanted list is reserved for fugitives who are actively evading capture. So, let's talk strategy. Get a fake ID, cross to Canada or Mexico, lie low in a small town, work under the table, cash only. Never, ever contact family. Just kidding. It's not the 80s anymore. In 2026, you can't just dye your hair, move cities, and gone girl yourself. Here's what you need. No phone at all. Burner phones can be tracked too. No social media, obviously. It'll be humiliating for Grok to catch you. Cash only. Credit cards leave a trail. No car registered in your name. Avoid cameras, which is nowadays basically impossible. The FBI has biometric databases, AI facial recognition, cell tower data, financial tracking algorithms, and partnerships with every tech company. They can see your Venmo. They know when you order DoorDash. The game is low-key rigged. Step 5. Make sure the FBI actually wants to publicize you. Okay, so you've committed federal crimes, you're dangerous, and you're on the run, but there's one last caveat. Does the FBI think putting you on the list will actually help catch you? As we've mentioned, the FBI only has 10 slots, sometimes 11 if someone's extra unhinged, but usually just 10. That means you have to compete. Here's how the selection process actually works. All 56 FBI field offices submit candidates. The Criminal Investigative Division reviews them. The Office of Public Affairs weighs in. And finally, the FBI's deputy director makes the final call. This can take weeks, unless you do something so heinous that they smash the emergency button and fast-track you. Here's what will get you pushed straight to the front of the line: killing FBI agents. The FBI takes this extremely personally. You skip the queue entirely. Channel the light Yagami inside of you. Whoa. Wow, okay. Killing cops in general. Literally any law enforcement officer would work. They'll make sure to hunt you to the ends of the earth. Mass casualty events. So, terrorism, mass shootings, bombings, anything that gets news coverage will get you on the list immediately. Timothy McVeigh, the man who bombed a federal building in Oklahoma City, killing 168 people, wasn't on the list because he was caught 90 minutes after the bombing. But if he'd escaped, instant top 10. High-profile assassinations. Ray made the list days after killing MLK. Andrew Cunanan was added after his killing spree that included Gianni Versace. Serial killers with active investigations. Because if bodies are turning up and the FBI knows who you are getting added. Fun fact, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, who murdered 3 people and injured 23 others between 1978 and 1995 in a nationwide mail bombing campaign against people he believed to be advancing modern technology and the destruction of natural environment, was never on the most wanted list. Why? Because the FBI didn't know who he was until right before his arrest. You can't just put unknown male suspect on a top 10 list. You need a name and a face. So if you actually want to be on the list, you need to be identifiable, so they must have your name and photo. Not already famous, because if you're already famous, you're wasting a slot. And dangerous enough that the FBI thinks public fear will help catch you. Congrats, at this point you're no longer just committing crimes. You're auditioning. Step 6. Avoid getting snitched on. You've made it. You're the FBI's #1 most wanted. Congratulations. You're the most wanted fugitive in America. But did you know that 93% of people who make the list get caught, and 31% of those captures happen because someone from the public snitches? The list works. That's why it exists. So let's talk about how people actually get caught. Number 1, routine traffic stops. Ted Bundy, caught during a traffic stop for erratic driving in a stolen car. Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber, pulled over for driving without a license plate 90 minutes after the bombing. Number 2, public recognition. Thomas Holden, the first ever on the list, a bank robber and accused of killing his wife, brother-in-law, and stepbrother-in-law, was caught because someone saw his photo in the newspaper and called the FBI. Willie Sutton was recognized on the subway by a tailor's son who had been staring at his wanted flyer. Whitey Bulger, a Boston mob boss who murdered at least 11 people, was caught in 2011 after 16 years on the run because a former Miss Iceland saw him on TV and called a tip line. Beauty with brains for real. Number 3, you screw up. Billy Austin Bryant got stuck in an attic with a jammed door. James Earl Ray had a typo on his fake passport. Andrew Cunanan killed himself after 1 month because he couldn't handle the pressure. Number 4, the internet. In 1986, Leslie Isbin Rogue, a bank robber who stole over $2 million, became the first person caught via the FBI's website. He turned himself in at the US Embassy in Guatemala after seeing his face online. Today, it's way worse. The FBI blasts your face across Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, digital billboards, and even a mobile app. You can run, but you cannot hide from the algorithm. Fun fact, the FBI now offers rewards up to $250,000 for information leading to the capture. That's life-changing money. Your best friend will snitch for that. Hell, in this economy, even your mom might snitch. The FBI has also partnered with shows like America's Most Wanted, which helped catch over 1,200 fugitives. John Walsh, the host, basically turned the entire country into unpaid detectives. Bottom line, once you're on the list, you're cooked. You're not just running from the FBI anymore. You're running from everyone. Speedrun records you need to beat. Alright, let's talk leaderboards. Since the list launched in 1950, 537 fugitives have been on the list, and 500 of them have been caught or located, which should tell you everything you need to know about how this ends. But if you're still curious about the records, here they are. Fastest time on the list, Billy Austin Bryant, 2 hours. Current world record holder. This man made the list and got caught before his wanted poster even finished printing. Second fastest, William Raymond Nesbitt, one of the original top 10 fugitives wanted for burglary. 2 days. Caught after a newspaper article in the St. Paul Dispatch. Longest time on the list. Victor Manuel Herrera, who robbed $7 million from Wells Fargo. 32 years. The man fled to Puerto Rico and was never found. The FBI eventually took him off the list because they assumed he was either dead or no longer a threat. Absolute legend, but also probably dead. Only 12 women have ever made the list. The first was Ruth Eisman Scheer, who kidnapped a millionaire's daughter and buried her alive in 1968, wanted for kidnapping. The most recent? Ruya Ignatova, added in 2022 for running a $4 billion cryptocurrency scam. What a girl boss. So there you have it, the complete speedrun guide to making the FBI's most wanted list. But let's be real, every single person who's ever made this list had their life absolutely nuked. They either died in prison, got executed, killed themselves, or spent decades on the run just to get caught anyway. So yeah, you can speedrun this, but the only prize at the end is a cell, or death, or both. Anyway, that's it. Do not actually do any of this. Live a long, quiet life where your name never appears on the FBI's website or in a random Epstein document dump at 3 a.m. Okay, ciao, ciao. Subscribe now.